Hey, what's up, my people? Just doing a prelude, man. I'm gonna jump on here for a few minutes because I'm really sick. I'm sick and tired of all the in-your-face racist antics, that are being done by upper-level personnel at MDLC, namely Batman. Y'all know who I'm talking about. To about 4 or 5 people come on. I'm gonna talk about it for about 10 or 15 minutes. Breakdown and just to ask. There's some of you people, there's some of you conscious people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired, whether it's at MDOC or whether it's at any one of the institutions in the state. You know what I mean? From Magcor to Mississippi Department of Correction, anywhere else. But I just want to kind of like talk about a situation that happened yesterday at Parchment. So I'm gonna wait until about 2 or 3 more people come on, and it just amazes me how this same cycle of racism keeps on happening within the department, and namely through Mark Magcor, namely through upper level officials who I'll be naming in a minute. You know what I mean? So just check out. I just made a post about McGinnis, being not charged with a DUI, but being caught drunk while driving the state vehicle. Now, how is it that when somebody black is caught doing something wrong within the department, in the State Department, they're fired? They don't get put on paid administrative leave. They've been reporting that this man has had an alcohol problem, since he's been there, and that he's been driving the vehicle drunk. And so you finally get stopped, and they put you on paid, taxpayer paid administrative leave until further notice. That means that they're trying to figure out how they can let you retire so you can keep your pension, type of situation. But the main thing I want to talk about is the incident that happened at Parchment yesterday. Now, if you go back and look on my YouTube, you see some of the live. Now, I talked about a white lady that used to work for Magcor at Parchment when I was down there. Now, she was in a relationship with the inmate that was in the factory, where she even built a tent within the factory, Magcor. As soon as you go in, right there on the left, after you pass, to go through the front gate, she built a tent, but they had put padding on the floor, and where she was sleeping with the guys inside the factory, right? So guys called me. I didn't believe it, so I had to go down to Magcor myself just to see it, witness it. CID was called. They took pictures of it. They claimed that wasn't enough for them to say that the woman had inappropriate relationship with JR. Inmate name is JR. I won't release his real name until I make sure I got his number right. And then I'm talking about the right one. All right. Later on, the same thing happened one evening where she was in one of the offices with the inmate, and her clothes were kind of messed up. And the same thing happened. Another staff reported it to Mark McClure. Didn't do anything about it. In fact, he called down to Jackson to report the staff that reported it. Now, somebody reports to you that a woman came out of another office with an offender, clothes half off. You know what I mean? And you call over the head and tell his boss to tell them to stop calling you on your time off, that you don't have time to deal with anything. You over CID, this is when he was superintendent. You over CID at the institution. You didn't even notify CID. CID did come and take pictures when the officer called him and told him down there to show it to him. But all that went away. You continue to let the woman work because your wife works for Magcor. You move her McClure, you moved her from over there at the building because you knew something was going on, and you put her in the office with you just to get her away from everything that was going on. So now it makes sense to where you moved her from Magcor and started letting her work for MDOC and still get paid for Magcor and hold the office in your administration building. But this is not the kicker. The kicker is they have been trying to get this black lady fired for the last 2 or 3 years. Writing, Miss Drish she was writing letters to Magcor trying to write her up, but the woman had been there and all she did was do her job. You know, you had the inmates filing on her, the white inmates, Miss Slaughter. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Her name is Miss Slaughter. Just so happened the Slaughter come up, but she worked at Magcor, and that's her name. Her name was Miss Slaughter. She came. They were trying to get her fired from Magcor, and so my thing is, you're trying to get her out of the way because she's seen something, and maybe even though she didn't do the reporting, maybe she had seen something she wanted to report, but she knows that the powers that be, quote unquote, Mr. McClure, in power, that he wasn't going to do anything because the lady that she would have been reporting on was white. The same old Mississippi racist stuff that goes on and on. How about yesterday? The lady get caught. She done brought in tobacco, the kind that they don't even sell, on the store, and she has it where she bought it with her own, I'm sure with her own personal credit card. She was questioned, and she tells the people that she's married to the inmate. So you're normally coming into an institution to where you saying that you got married since he's been in there and since you've been working there. And she don't order him rings, you know what I mean, and give it to the inmate. Now, my thing is right, wrong is wrong. Because every time a black man or a woman, if there was a whisper that went in the air about them doing something at Parchment, they were fired. And if there was a smell of smoke, they took them to jail. Do not pass go. And let them make bond and send it up to the Sunflower County Grand Jury, and they indicted them. How about Mark McClure, after this woman was investigated, pretty much admitted to everything that she had done, told the woman to get her car, after they had taken her keys, after CID had taken her keys, told her to get in her car and go home. To get in her car and go home. So, damn her being in a relationship, and if they slept together, there's no consenting factor that she could use between an inmate and a staff. You let her go. You know what I mean? You didn't lock her up. You didn't make bond. You didn't let her make bond. You just let her go home. All like ain't nothing happened. Oh, that ain't nothing. Go ahead, I got you. I got you, my white sister. Just send her home. If it had been somebody black and he'd have been out of town, he'd have called and said, take him down to the Sunflower County Jail. You know what I mean? They said, take him down to the Sunflower County Jail. So my thing is, how, when, and where, and what do you think Batman, how long do you think you're going to keep getting away with this? With these racist antics, and you started treating my people, our people down there, and you keep threatening them. You know, it's bad enough that you bring offenders into the meeting and tell them whatever staff got a problem with it, they can get up and leave because he's going to be in all the meetings. So how are they supposed to give this inmate an order, which I know they can't because you already expressed that throughout the compound? Give him an order if they catch him doing something wrong, if they catch him drinking, because you've given him that X factor where he thinks that he's like them after committing a homicide of a pregnant woman with her baby. And I know I'm kind of jumping around, but I just want you to see the similarities in the stuff that he's doing that I consider racist at MDOC. And my thing is, why you didn't call downtown CID and see what they wanted to do? Because you know that there was a possibility. Well, no possibility. You know that they have been fucking in Magcor. You know what I mean? The woman going down to leaving Magcor when she should be going out the gate, going down to Unit 28 and sitting down eating with this dude. Check the camera, CID. You know it. I'm sure somebody had told you. The woman going down after work, after her work hours, instead of going home, going down on the nights that they're having church service at Unit 28. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 times a week. 2 or 3 times a week. And you ain't done shit about it. And people done told you over 2 years since I've been there, the same shit that this woman has been doing. And when she trip over her own feet, you won't even let her ass hit the ground. So now you playing Captain Save-A-Ho. Only for your people. Only for your people. They done gave you a minute ounce of false power, because it's false, because it's a made-up position. And you think that you're God's gift to MDOC. So my question today is, I want to see what John Hunt is going to do about you letting her go home after everything that you had against her. There were a number of things, at least 4 or 5 things that you could have arrested her for, but you let her go home. But you arrest black women on allegations. Black men and women on allegations who bust their ass running up and down the highway, risking their lives, coming in to protect your penitentiary. And she works for Magcor, so you had no vested interest other than your wife maybe asked you, oh, baby, let her go home. You know what I mean? Oh, I forgot. And because she was white. So you let her go home when you arrest every black man and woman who's been allegedly accused of doing anything that was taken to Sunflower County Jail ought to sue you starting today. And I'm a pretty good writ writer. Reach out to me and I'll help you with it. They ought to sue you for discrimination. They ought to sue you for preferential treatment. They ought to sue you for violating the policies and the powers of MDOC. You done create your own power. You done create your own power. You done create your own power. You know what I mean? So how you gonna let Miss Drish just go home and not arrest her? Huh? Man, that's all I want to know. You know she brought it for him. She said that she brought the skull for him. You know she been going down to Unit 28 after hours, eating in the kitchen with him, and going to church with him. And she even admitted openly that she was married to the man. And you see the ring, the matching ring that he has and she has, and you ain't done a damn thing about it. Only thing you could do about it was give her keys, get your keys, and go home. I'll deal with you later. Anybody black would have been expressed with the blue lights on all the way to the Sunflower County Jail. Man, I'm going to talk to y'all this evening before I be to call him something else. Before I be to call him one of these. It ain't no Ritz. It ain't no saltine. But you know what I'm saying. So, I'll see y'all this evening. Any staff that's been let go and you want to talk, let me know. Man, share this live. Like this video and let everybody know. Get real close, Batman. I'm on your hind part. I'm on your hind part. What's up, soldier? I'm getting tired of these people treating us like we don't matter. And letting all his light-skinned people go. White-skinned, light-skinned, or whatever color. Yeah. Get your feet off my people neck. Take care, soldier. Man, I see you people tonight. I promise you that. I'll be back. I'll see you tonight. And McGinnis, you ain't got away. It's just more breaking news, more press. You think you're gonna sweep that DUI under the rug? I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna show the world in a state vehicle. Yep, in a state vehicle. Yeah. How you doing, Boostine? Y'all take care. See you tonight. Go lock her up. Yeah. You lock all of us up. You lock all the black men and women up that leave partially. Go lock her up today. You let her went home and clean her house and delete all her emails.